Hey there, fellow digital learners, and a hearty welcome back to the Lesson Hacker channel, the place where tech meets education. And I wield the mighty sword of sarcasm to slice through the hype and give it to you straight. Well, as straight as a sarcastic aging millennial can. Today we're diving deep into a topic hotter than a laptop after a 3-hour Zoom marathon: coding in education. More specifically, we're going to talk about what I think will be a real game changer: the new online code editor from the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Yes, friends, hold on to your Pi hats, because this might just be the future of teaching coding. But let's be real, we're just watching it cut its first digital teeth. First up, let's talk about the why. What's so special about this new kid on the block? Well, it's an online code editor, folks. Doesn't sound groundbreaking? Think again. You see, we've all been down the rabbit hole with other platforms. Not naming names. But imagine a world where it doesn't matter if you're sporting the latest MacBook Pro or rocking a Chromebook that's seen better days. The Raspberry Pi online code editor doesn't discriminate. It's the tech egalitarian that we've all been waiting for, ensuring nobody gets left behind regardless of their hardware. For all you educators teaching coding in a browser-using, app-juggling ecosystem, you understand the importance of this inclusivity. If our tools don't work for everyone, then what's the point? I really believe in equity in education, and browser-based coding seems like the best way to get there. Currently, this digital dojo supports Python and HTML, CSS, which, if we're honest, are the bread and butter of budding programmers and web developers. If you're teaching or learning to code in these languages, you're golden, aside from the fact that you can't upload files to it just yet. You've got your HTML for structure, your CSS for style, and Python then is a more programmatic language that's as close to English as computer jargon gets. We're trailblazing, but in familiarity here, people. Oh, did I mention it's open source? That's a bigger deal than the Sam Altman drama last weekend. It's a community-built haven for collaboration and innovation, which means that anyone with the smarts and the passion can contribute to making it better. Now, this is where true educational empowerment starts, with every user also being a potential contributor. We're also not putting all our eggs into the basket of a company that is driven directly by profit. Because let's not forget the brand itself, Raspberry Pi. The same Pi that's been putting affordable computers in the hands of eager learners globally. The same Pi that's more interested in education than making a quick buck. They're pioneers with a purpose. And I think most importantly for those of us that teach programming, this isn't an AI gone wild scenario. We're talking about a tool that's built for education. Not just for showing off what machine learning can do. It's about us teaching coding in a way that's engaging, effective, and, dare I say it, fun. Now, let's switch gears and check under the hood. What horsepower does it currently lack? Before we start complaining, remember the magic words open source. We can add to it, enhance it, and rev it up. We can even put suggestions for improvements. That said, there are still a few teaching tools that we are missing. Classroom functionality is one. I'm talking the ability to create interactive lessons and automatically mark work. The things that help an educator manage the online environment as if it were an in-person activity. There aren't any tests. Now, I'm not a glutton for punishment, but hear me out. Auto-grading or some kind of streamlined assessment is fantastic for students to develop the internal skill set to test their own code. And of course, anything to save us all from the fate of a never-ending pile of homework to mark. We're in the 21st century. Let's act like it. Multiplayer options should be on the radar too. They don't currently exist. Coding is currently a bit of a solitary slog. But imagine the possibilities of peer-to-peer learning, live code-offs, and collaborative problem solving and live marking. It's not just about the code. It's about the community you get from supporting each other in code. And multiplayer would go a long way to supporting this. Let's not forget now more programming languages. Let's pack this editor with the educational essentials. Let's think JavaScript. Let's think Ruby. Let's think Java. Let's think of all those people teaching different languages all around the world and how they'd like to make it work. One thing on the wish list for me would be local compilation. Cloud-based is great, don't get me wrong, but there's value in having the code run on the local machine because it alleviates the resources needed to run a service like this. Undoubtedly, there'll be a bit more getting our hands dirty to get this implemented, but that would be an amazing option for those of us with beefier computers in the classroom. So where do we go from here? Well, this is where you come into it, you wonderful band of keyboard warriors. It's a call to action. If you've had a play with the Raspberry Pi online code editor and have some thoughts, Don't just grumble into your caffeinated beverage of choice. Give your feedback to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Your insight could help sculpt the future of the platform. I mean, who doesn't want to flex their influencer muscles? Not much of an influencer muscle, I'm afraid. And if you've got the skills, why not contribute PRs to the project? Let's get those coding fingers in shape and push some updates. Think of it as community service, but for tech nerds. If we all put some effort in, we can get this to where it needs to be in the next few months. Hopefully, before certain other unnamed services shut off services that we've come to rely on. Plus, GitHub accolades await your valiant efforts. Lastly, suggest teaching features to add to the repo. What do you wish you had when you were coding your first Hello World into the void? Let's make sure the next generation of coders has it and more. To wrap this up, the Raspberry Pi online code editor is more than just a platform. It's a burgeoning revolution in coding education. It's open, it's inclusive, and it's just waiting for you and me to pitch in and propel it into the stratosphere of tech tools. And hey, I will just say this. Raspberry Pi Foundation, if you need someone to lead on turning this project into something that can be rolled out the classroom, I'd be happy to get stuck in. Hit me up if you feel like making me an offer that I can't refuse. For the rest of us, and for the immediate future, if you need a rundown of alternatives to the service that should not be named,
the wonderful James Abella
and the teachers of SEA CSCA have joined their forces Voltron style to produce this cracking document that's flying around the interweb. I make no comment on the image they've used to illustrate it. None. No comment. Don't even look at it. And with that, our code-laden journey comes to an end. For now, remember, Lesson Hacker's more than just a show. It's a community. So hit subscribe, join the conversation in the comments, and let's crack the future of tech education wide open piece by piece. Until next time, keep coding, keep questioning, and never stop learning. This has been your trusty host, That Bald Dude, signing off. Cut to black. I wasn't meant to say that bit. I think that was the editing directions.